Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. RHOC's Tamra judge accuses Shannon Beador of digging up dirt about Jana Kirschenheiter to expose at reunion. Tamra judge is no stranger to screaming matches with her Real Housewives of Orange co-stars, but Thursday's new episode featured her stirring the pot like never before. Whenever we thought she'd back down and let the rest of the trip proceed as planned, she came up with something else. As Monsters and critics previously reported, Tamra slammed Shannon Beador, claiming she was responsible for the background check on Ryan Boyajian. That drama was resolved relatively quickly during the episode, and Shannon mostly got away without being called out for it. As a result, Tamra moved on to her next move, bringing up Shannon digging up dirt on Jana Kirschenheiter to use at the RHOC Season 16 reunion. We have to admit, we didn't believe it initially because Tamra had been coming so hard for Shannon, but by the end of the episode, Shannon looked like an unreliable narrator. Tamra initially told Heather that Shannon reached out to her in 2022 while she was on pause and asked her to ask Taylor Armstrong's husband, John Bluer, to look into any legal documents surrounding allegations that Gina pushed her boyfriend, Travis Mullins, down the stairs. Tamra claimed that Taylor hit back that her husband would not be getting involved in anything like that. Of course, Taylor became a friend of the Housewives on RHOC Season 17, so it's a little suspicious that the drama didn't pop up once during that season. Later in the episode, Tamra and Heather clued in Emily Simpson, who was disgusted and said that Gina needed to be made aware of this news. During the final dinner on the cast trip in London, Shannon went outside to argue with Heather, allowing Tamra to tell Gina everything. So if I tell you that Shannon dug up information about you and consulted an attorney to find out if you threw Travis down the stairs, would you be upset about it? Tamra asked Gina across the table. It's not news that Shannon and Gina have had issues, but they've mostly put them aside this season. Gina has even been calling out the other women's treatment of Shannon. Gina took to a confessional to say that Travis' ex-wife is a horrible person. This woman is telling complete of ********* lies. She told bloggers, "I'm bigger than Travis. I used to beat him up regularly, throwing him down the stairs," Gina said. She went on to talk about how she split them into 2 homes because she wanted to get away from this insanity. Instead of being mad at Shannon, Gina didn't like that Tamra didn't care about bringing it up on camera because she didn't realize she was getting hurt. Tamra admitted that she only brought it up because Gina had criticized how she called out Shannon. Gina revealed she felt like collateral damage in something that didn't concern her and was upset about it. Tamra held it in for so long and only brought it up when it benefited her. "I told you she'd blame me," Tamra sighed as Shannon returned. Initially, the 60-year-old tried to play dumb about the situation until there was no way out. "You're the one that told me the story." Shannon hit back before claiming Tamra was the one that investigated. "Bulls ******, Tamra screamed at Shannon. Gina handled the news very well. She told the women they had to stay in London and not be dragged back to Orange County because it was time to move on. Something tells us it will be a hot topic during the upcoming reunion. Tamra judge was ready for a showdown. She had come to know the inner workings of the Real Housewives cast well, and Shannon Beador's patterns were no mystery to her. The reunion was days away, and Tamra had received a shocking tip. Shannon was allegedly digging up dirt on Jana Kirschenheiter, ready to drop a bombshell that could rattle Gina to her core. Tamra had seen it all, but this rumor took her back. That afternoon, Tamra settled herself at her favorite coffee spot, looking out over Orange County's bustling streets, her phone vibrating nonstop with messages. Rumors had been swirling for weeks. Shannon had been uncharacteristically quiet, only fueling suspicions about her intentions. It wasn't Shannon's silence that bothered Tamra, but the unsettling feeling that Shannon's silence wasn't peace, but the quiet before a storm. Tamra's phone buzzed again, this time with a message from Gina. "Hey, what's going on with Shannon? Someone told me she's up to something. Should I be worried?" Tamra hesitated, weighing her response. She knew Gina had been through a lot: personal struggles, custody battles, and the exhausting roller coaster of being on the show itself. The last thing Gina needed was more chaos. After a deep breath, Tamra typed back, "Let's meet up. I think we need to talk in person." Later that day, Gina arrived at the restaurant, exuding her usual laid-back style that belied her knack for survival. When she sat across from Tamra, she looked nervous. "What's the scoop?" she asked, eyes wide. Tamra leaned forward, voice low. "I don't know if you've heard this, but Shannon has been busy. There's word she's been asking around, trying to dig up something on you for the reunion." Gina's face drained of color. "Are you serious?" "Tamra, I thought we were past all of that with Shannon. She promised, she swore, she'd let this stuff go after we hashed it out last season." Tamra reached across the table, putting a hand on Gina's. "Listen, I've known Shannon for years, and I know she hates feeling cornered. You two may have worked things out, but the reunion is a whole different battlefield. When things get tough, she goes low." Gina's eyes filled with determination, her earlier shock fading. "I won't let her drag me through the mud. Not after everything I've shared with everyone on this show. I can't believe she would stoop this low." Tamra nodded, a touch of guilt crossing her own face. "I get it, Gina. Shannon's been my friend too, but I can't sit by and let her do this to you. If there's one thing I've learned from being on this show, it's that transparency is key. So let's get ahead of her." They spent the next hour talking strategy, dissecting every possible accusation Shannon might bring up, from Gina's tumultuous dating history to past family issues. By the end of their lunch, Gina felt somewhat fortified, knowing she wasn't going into this blind. But Tamra sensed there was still unease gnawing at her friend. As Tamra left the restaurant, she checked her phone again and saw a message from Shannon herself. "Tamra, call me when you're free. We need to talk." Tamra braced herself and dialed Shannon, already predicting the direction this conversation would go. Shannon answered almost immediately, her voice chipper but with an edge. "Tamra, I feel like we haven't had a good heart-to-heart in ages." "Yeah, Shannon," Tamra replied carefully. "What's going on?" "Oh, Shannon began, her tone light but laced with subtext. "I just wanted to make sure that you're prepared for the reunion. I heard some things that I think might come up, and I wanted to give you a heads up." Tamra's jaw clenched. "What things, Shannon?" "Well, I don't want to give too much away, but let's just say Gina may not be as squeaky clean as everyone thinks. It might be time for her to own up to a few things she's conveniently left out of her story." "Shannon," Tamra said firmly, "if you're trying to come for Gina, you should know she's ready for it. And I'm not going to stand by and watch you tear her down for something she may not have done. Let's keep the reunion civil, all right?" Shannon's laughter was forced. "Oh, Tamra, please, I'm just here for honesty, that's all, and I'd expect you to appreciate that. Besides, it's not like you've never brought receipts to a reunion." Hanging up, Tamra felt a surge of frustration and resentment. She knew Shannon had her own insecurities and reasons, but this seemed like a targeted attack. Just as she was lost in thought, another message came in, this time from Emily, who'd heard the same rumors. "Tamra, should we be worried? Shannon is on a mission, and she's not playing nice this time." Emily's message sparked an idea. Maybe it was time for a united front. Tamra messaged back, suggesting that she, Gina, and Emily get together before the reunion to align their stories. She knew that Shannon, whether right or wrong, would be relentless. The best way to combat that energy was to be just as strong in numbers. The night before the reunion, the three met at Tamra's house. Emily arrived first, armed with notes and a determined look. "I'm not letting Shannon twist anyone's story," Emily said, her usual cheerful demeanor swapped for one of resolve. Jana walked in shortly after, looking calm yet prepared. "All right, so what's the game plan?" she asked, sitting down next to Emily. The three women strategized, sifting through every possible angle Shannon might use and crafting responses that would hold up under scrutiny. Finally, the date of the reunion arrived, and as the cast settled into their seats, the tension was palpable. Shannon sat across from them, a small, unreadable smile playing on her lips. When the inevitable moment arrived, Shannon launched into her carefully constructed accusations, directing pointed questions and insinuations toward Gina. But Gina, Tamra, and Emily held their ground, united and unflappable. Every time Shannon attempted to turn the conversation, they countered with strength and composure. Shannon's frustration grew as her tactics failed to land, and for the first time, she found herself unable to control the narrative. Finally, in a bold move, Jenna looked directly at Shannon and said, "If you have something to say, Shannon, say it. I'm here to be real, but I'm not here to be railroaded by lies." The silence that followed was electric. Shannon looked taken aback, clearly not expecting Jaina to stand up for herself so firmly. Tamra smiled inwardly, proud of her friend for facing the storm head-on. In the end, Shannon's plot had backfired, leaving her isolated, her words falling flat. As the reunion wrapped, Jenna hugged Tamra and Emily, grateful for their support. "Thank you, really. I couldn't have done this without you." Tamra smiled, giving Gina's hand a squeeze. "That's what friends are for. You stood up for yourself, and that's what counts. If Shannon can't respect that, then it's her loss." Walking out together, the three women left the reunion stronger than ever, bound by an unspoken pact. They had faced the storm together, and whatever came next, they knew they could handle it, because they had each other's backs, no matter what Shannon tried to throw their way.